Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel Step by Steph. I am Stephanie and thank you so very much for stopping by. This channel specifically gives step-by-step tutorials and tips on natural hair care and styling. But in today's video, I'm actually going to be taking a detour from that route to share more information about my current journey, which is the journey through breastfeeding. This journey of breastfeeding has not been an easy one. I have been breastfeeding my son now for about 10 months, and there's just so much information that I have learned, what this whole process is like, and I just felt like I needed to share it because I feel like there just needs to be more support for moms out there who are breastfeeding or pumping, and what that looks like and what are some realistic things to make it all work. So if you're going through this process yourself, or if you are expecting, then you're gonna love today's video because I'm gonna break it down from everything that I learned to make it really bite-sized and tangible for you to be able to walk away with and implement it into your current strategy. So if you want to see more about my breastfeeding journey, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. So to give you a backstory is that I have been breastfeeding my son for about 10 months, and there has been a lot of highs and a lot of lows with this journey. I think for the most part, for the first 3 months or so of my son's life, which is the period that I was home, I exclusively, I would say 90% of the time, I exclusively breastfed. The reasons why I was pumping, one is to give me my husband an opportunity to feed my son, or my mom to help me out overnight kind of thing. And then, but the biggest part of it was just to save what I could so that I could have enough when I would go back to work, just in case things didn't go, didn't work the way that I had planned. And the biggest thing in my mind is like, how do I keep this up? Biggest thing why this wasn't so important to me is because it was until I had to return back to work where I became really obsessed with trying to make sure that I was producing enough for my son, because once I got to work, things completely changed, and it's now having to learn how do I keep this thing up but still be very present at work and still get work done, which has been very challenging, especially with the work that I do, because I work in higher education. And so you can imagine trying to work with students, work with my colleagues, work with other campus partners, and having to pump so I can have enough milk for my son has been a very, very hard journey. So I returned back to work in November of last year. So this is about 3.5 months postpartum. I went back to work, so maybe like week 14, 15-ish, I don't exactly remember. And the very first week I went back to work, my milk supply tanked. I was going from producing anywhere probably to 20-something ounces a day to like I could barely even get 10. And I think it was just the shock of returning back to work. It wasn't a huge adjustment for me, especially my sleeping pattern, because I was so used to waking up every 2 to 3 hours to either feed, change a diaper, pump, whatever the case may be, but I'm doing something every 2 to 3 hours. And so it was really challenging because I supervise students to find the time to meet with my students, meet my supervisor, meet with my colleagues, whatever else I have going on for my responsibilities, but also dedicate time to pumping. And in particular, it was really hard because my office does not conducive for breastfeeding. I have a lot of glass around my office. I kind of feel like I joke a lot with my colleagues and tell them like I feel like I'm in Joe's basement. If you ever watch You on Netflix, I legit look like I'm in Joe's basement. Like, no lie, y'all. It legit looks like I feel like I'm in a box. So it was a lot of working with my department to make sure I had a comfortable space to not breastfeed, but a comfortable space to pump, because I needed to keep this up. And it was just really hard. I honestly, from November till April, I struggled really to try to keep this up and try to keep timing, and it's just really been a struggle. I think since the summer has began in May, and summer kind of things have slowed down for me at work, and as far as I don't meet with students all the time because my students are away, that I've had it's been a little bit easier for me to be able to pump as I need to. All that to say is that there are some specific tips that I have learned that has taught me to go from making maybe 3 ounces in a session of pumping to maybe upwards to like 7 ounces in a session of pumping. With the help of mostly my mom groups that I have joined on Facebook, they have been a godsend, and I've really learned some really good tips that I want to share with you all today that will guarantee, can't say the word guarantee because obviously different methods work for different people, but these are some pretty good tips that I'm pretty confident are gonna help you in your journey if that's what you're hoping to gain. So the first tip in increasing your milk supply is you have to frequently remove the milk from your breasts. And frequently, I'm talking every 2 to 3 hours, because when you are emptying your breast, your body is saying, I need to fill it back up. So it is a supply and demand thing, and your body needs to know that the more you need to nurse or pump, the more milk you need in order to feed your baby. So you have to tell your body or create the need in your body that you need more milk. So whatever your schedule is now, you need to incorporate pumping every 2 to 3 hours. I would say an ideal sweet spot is every 3 hours, 3.5 hours for me. Sometimes I can even go to 4. I would say every 2 to 3 hours to start, just so your body can get used to, like, okay, there's a schedule, there's a need, I'm gonna fulfill the need because you're telling me that I need to make more, kind of thing. Which leads me into point number 2. Second tip is that whenever you are pumping or nursing, you need to empty your breast completely. Your body, in addition to knowing that you need more because you're pumping or nursing frequently, you need to make sure that you completely empty the breast so that the body can refill it back up again. Because again, it ties into supply and demand. If you're not emptying enough, then your body doesn't think you need as much. Again, you don't need as much. You don't need as much milk. So if you are nursing exclusively, right after you're finished nursing your child, pump. You can do hand expressions to get whatever's remaining behind completely out. You can also use a pump if you prefer that as well. But this way, it tells your body, okay, we're completely empty and now I need you to do this again. Tip number 3, even though I haven't done this lately myself anymore, just because my son's 10 months old, is that that nighttime feeding will help increase your milk supply. The reason why you need to do this is that the hormone that's designed to help increase your milk supply is prolactin. And overnight, your prolactin levels are at its peak. The higher levels of prolactin you have in your body present, the more milk your body is going to make. So if you've ever realized and struggled, like, how come like the first beginning of the day I'm making a lot of milk and then like it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm barely getting anything? And it's just because it's your prolactin levels that are decreasing, and it is a natural process, so don't beat yourself up. If you want to keep it up, you're gonna have to incorporate an overnight feeding. I know this is a really hard thing to do, because as someone 10 months into this thing, it is not an easy thing to do, especially with going back to work full time, to wake up in the middle of the night and be present and to pump or attach yourself. But I have done it so many nights at this point, I can't even count. I've had it happen to me where if I nurse my son, he's only feeding from one side and I still have the other side that I need to empty. So I have to go and then empty out the other side just to ensure that I have completely removed the milk and I can go back to bed. Tip number 4. So the 4th thing that has helped me increase my milk supply is breastfeeding supplements. I have tried several breastfeeding supplements, including brewer's yeast that I got off of Amazon, and it was like the best and highest rated brewer's yeast on Amazon. Didn't do a single thing to my milk supply. I also tried this tea. I forgot what the tea is called. I'll insert a picture here, but I got it from Target, and it didn't do anything either. But why I stopped taking it, because I only took it for a few days, is because it was giving my son really, really bad gas. It was making him really, really gassy, and it contains fenugreek. Then I learned that fenugreek isn't the best herb to increase your milk supply, because it can actually do the reverse and hinder your milk supply. So then I discovered these supplements, which are called Legendary Milk. Legendary Milk is a company that makes herbal pills or capsules or supplements that you can take several times throughout the day, but they help to increase your milk supply. So there's many different types of supplements, and you just have to figure out which one that you need based on the needs of your body. But I have tried several of them, and I have a sample of them here. The current supplements that I have are Cash Cow, Pumping Princess, this is Liquid Gold, and then this is Sunflower Lecithin. So, and I'll explain why I have each one and what each one has done for me, what my experiences have been. So with the Sunflower Lecithin, what it's good for is that it's good to prevent clogged ducts. And I feel like in general, even if you don't experience clogged ducts, because it's not something that I experience, I feel like it just helps get the milk out easier. So essentially what it's doing is that it will loosen the fatty clogs that you get in your breast, and it'll kind of make it easier for milk to flow and pass through, and that's how this thing works here. And so if you take these, there's also other types of lecithin. There's also, if you like Oreos contain, I think, soy lecithin, and it's also another good thing to do. I heard a lot of moms in the group that I'm in love eating Oreos. Legendary Milk has a chart on their website, and you can figure out what each of the supplements do and what they are good for to kind of help you determine which ones are going to be best for you. I first began using Pump Princess. It was my favorite, actually. I thought, I was like, oh, this is working. My milk supply was going. Everything just seemed to be working great. And then I bought it again, and then I was like, what happened to the magic? I don't know. I feel like I lost my magic with Pump Princess. My second favorite would be Liquid Gold. It has definitely helped me increase my milk supply. I believe this helps to also increase prolactin levels, which is probably why it helps me to increase my milk supply. But I've had good things with Liquid Gold. I haven't had any bad reactions or anything like that. But my favorite out of the three, which I think trumps all of them, has been Cash Cow. Cash Cow is, I think it speaks for itself. This has been my favorite one and the best one that my body has responded to. And I went from pumping 2 to 3 ounces from both breasts to doing, I think, about 3.5 to sometimes 4. So about 7.5 ounces. And I'll insert a picture here so that you can see what I'm talking about. But since taking these supplements, I have seen a big difference in my milk supply. And it has definitely helped me to maintain my milk supply even through the hard period, like even through when I'm about to get my cycle. And whenever I'm about to get my cycle, my milk supply tanks naturally, and it's just because of hormones. This helps me to kind of, get through the really tough week of not having enough. Tip number 5 is eating oats. I eat a ton of oatmeal. Like, oatmeal is generally my breakfast that I eat during the day. I eat tons of oats, and some people think there is no scientific proof that oats work, but a lot of people who eat oatmeal also have had the experience of increasing their milk supply. I don't know what it is about the oatmeal, but eat the oatmeal if you're not eating the oatmeal. Observation for my body is that when I eat the oatmeal versus drinking the oat milk, that does better to my milk supply than drinking the milk. Tip number 6, I think I am, whichever number I'm on. Something I did not do very well early on: drink enough water. I thought I was drinking enough water, and then I had challenged myself to drink more, and especially with it getting hotter outside, I was like, okay, I need to make sure I need to drink more water. And I'm not sure exactly how much water I was drinking before. I might have gotten 48 ounces, maybe. Might have gotten like 48 ounces a day, but then I challenged myself to increase to 100 ounces a day, or at least 96 to 100 ounces per day. And once I started doing that consistently, I saw a jump, probably more than the supplements and anything else that I've told you. I saw a bigger jump when I increased my water intake and consistently stayed at that high level water intake more than any other thing that I've ever done. If you don't have a habit of drinking water, get a water bottle. This is a water bottle that I got from Target. You can also get this on Amazon, and what I like about it is that it's glass, and glass does not change the flavor of water, and that is what I've experienced in just getting plastic or stainless steel water bottles, is that they always change the taste of water, and it made drinking water very, very hard. So I invested into a glass water bottle. They're cheap. It's like maybe $13 to $16. And this is what helped me so very much. Another tag along with the water is get an app. I have 2 apps on my phone just because I couldn't figure out which one I liked better. But one is called Water Llama, and the other one is called Water Reminder, and they sync with my Apple Watch. And so I have it so that it notifies me, I think every hour and a half-ish or so, to drink water. So even if I'm busy doing something, my wrist will buzz and I'll see the notification, and I'm like, okay, I need to go drink some water. So then I go drink some water. So those are the 6 tips that has helped me increase my milk supply. I hope that wherever you are in your journey, I wish you the best, because it is definitely not an easy journey, and no one talks about the difficulty of what it is to truly maintain this thing for, you know, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, or beyond a year, whatever your goals are. No one talks about the difficulty or the mental toll that it does take to constantly, every 2 to 3 hours, be hooked up to something, or having your baby latched onto you just so you can keep continuing to do this. So for my moms out there, be encouraged. You are doing a great job. If you decide to quit this thing before your goals, it is totally fine. You are not a bad parent. A fed baby is the best route, no matter how you're feeding your baby, whether that's through formula or through breast milk. A fed baby is the best. I would say another thing, as another word of encouragement, is it's very easy to become obsessed or a bit compulsive in how much milk you're storing in the freezer. And especially, that takes a swig of water. But it can be very discouraging, I would say, at least for me in my experience. If you're in other mom groups and you're seeing people who have an oversupply, or you're seeing the amount of bags that they have stored in their freezer. I think I've seen as high as someone saying that they had like 3,000 ounces of milk in the freezer, and I was like, what? Like literally, like they had every single roll in their deep freezer filled with like Ziploc bags and like their individual breast milk bags, and I was just like, I wish. And it can be very discouraging, or also a competition to just get more and have more and feel like you're never gonna have enough, and so you need to always make sure you have enough. Do not drive yourself, don't do this to yourself and drive yourself crazy. The whole purpose of storing the milk or having the milk in the first place is to feed your baby. So don't become obsessed with trying to reach this number. I know the number is important, especially when you have to go back to work, but you want to feed your baby. And if your body only makes 5 ounces, celebrate your body for making those 5 ounces. Your body did a lot so that you can get those 5 ounces, or those 2 ounces, or the 1 ounce, or whatever it is. Just ultimately, for you out there, is that just appreciate your body for the miracle that it created. And thank your body for all the changes that is still going through after creating this human, delivering this human, feeding this human, and then returning back to its normalcy. Like, it's a lot. Your body is doing a lot, and I just want you to be encouraged that even if your journey doesn't look like somebody else's, that means that you're a bad mom, that you're failing, or any of that. You are doing everything and more for your child, and so believe that, hold on to that, because again, a fed baby is the goal. So those are all the tips that I have to share. I hope these tips help you. Comment below and let me know what tips have worked for you. I would love it, so that whomever comes across this video, I would love for them to be able to comb through the comments and see other people's experiences about what has worked for them, so that they also have that the comment section as an additional resource of some things that they can also try to help increase their milk supply. I hope you have a great breastfeeding journey. However long you decide to go on this journey, I just pray that it's a great journey for you. If you decide to end your journey earlier than what you had originally intended, it's okay. It is okay. Your mental health is much more important than trying to maintain something that is completely stressing you out. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and also lets me know that you want to see more content like this. But I hope this video blesses you and that you leave a comment below and bless someone else. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.